This is Pastor Errol here for another Thursday night tips. It's the 16th of January 2020. Can you believe that we're on day 16 of 2020? I'm so honored and privileged to have the opportunity once again to share with you on another Thursday night tip. My focus tonight will be on developing yourself in 2020. I want to share some great tips with you. We will get started in around 2 minutes time, so get yourself ready. You may want to get yourself a cup of tea, a pen, and some paper to make notes of some of the points that I'll be sharing with you tonight. So we will get started in around 2 minutes time. Just want to make sure that everything is running okay and that everything is going to plan. I want to say welcome to you and your family and wishing you all the best for 2020. As I said before, I am amazed that we are already a few days into 2020 and looking forward to this session. Welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll get started in 60 seconds time. And if you have any questions or any comment, you can put those in YouTube or as well in the chat room at Facebook. And so please go ahead and link up with us in those particular places. If you do know my number, you can also go ahead and text me, and I'll be delighted to touch base with you on that. And any comments that you want to put forward, I'll be glad to take those from you. All right, then let's get going. It's 2020. Can you believe it? It's the 16th of January already. Before you know it, it will be Christmas 2020. Well, I just want to share with you a few thoughts tonight, and I'm looking forward to that. Just before I go ahead and do that, just want to introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. I thought I'd create a slide just to share some of the things about myself. You can read those. Obviously, I'm an author of 5 books currently. I'm looking forward to start my number 6. Not sure if I'm starting it in 2020 or 2021, but there you have it. And I'm the co-founder of one of our an executive chairman for one of our largest community organization in Europe, which was launched by His Royal Highness the Prince of Wales in 1988. Well, that's enough about me. I'm promoting this event. Actually, it's an amazing event, and I'll share that with you in a moment. But if you wish to partner with us, then you can actually go ahead and go to that particular website. That's www.bit.ly/COGOP23. And you can partner with us. You can see on screen some of the things that your funds will go towards. I want to say thanks to all those who have sponsored us already. Thank you for partnering with us. We do appreciate that very, very much. Well, our National Ladies Retreat is here. It's taking place in May, and if you are interested in that, you want to go to that website, cogop.org.uk, and book immediately because spaces are limited. I know with the women's conferences, it's sold out almost immediately. Not the same as the men's conference, but the women's conference is truly amazing. Minister Joyce Fletcher and her team are truly amazing in this planning. So go ahead and book your space immediately. They've already opened the door, and many bookings have already started to come in. So you don't want to be disappointed if you are a female. Go ahead and book up immediately. All right, let's get going then. My focus tonight, as I made mention, is on the topic of developing yourself in 2020. And I just want to share a few thoughts with you. First thing I'd like to share, first of all, I want to say welcome to Michael Simpson. Good evening to you, sir. Welcome. Hewitt, thank you so much for joining me, and everyone else who's here, Patricia, and everyone else who's here, thank you so much for joining me. If you have any questions or any comment, do go ahead and put those in the chat room. We are only here for just under an hour, so it's going to be very, very quick. Now, one of the first things you want to focus on. I want to share three things that you really um, could consider developing throughout 2020, and I strongly recommend that you focus on these three powerful areas that I want to share with you. One of them is your attitude. Someone once said attitude is everything. So I strongly recommend that you look to focus on your attitude. The second area is your skills. What are those areas that you are skillful at, that you'd like to develop? When we talk about skills, something that you're good at. Now, generally speaking, people are good at several things, and you may want to focus on one of those things that you want to develop in 2020. The third area that you want to focus on is knowledge. So develop what I call your ASK, attitude, skills, and knowledge. That's very, very, very important. Now, by developing your ASK, and what are some of the benefits of doing that? Well, you'll increase your worth, your value in the marketplace. I want to say this as well. People often think they get paid per hour. No, you're not paid per hour in the marketplace. You're paid for the value that you bring to the marketplace. That's generally how it works. So by developing your ASK, you are increasing your worth, your value in the marketplace. You're going to become more confident and feel really empowered. That's one of the great things about developing your attitude, skills, and knowledge. You're going to really feel really great. You will resolve conflicts far more quickly and easily because you have the skill, you have the knowledge, and you have the right attitude. You also will increase your productivity, reduce stress, and a host of other negative influences. You become very powerful in the marketplace as well as in your home, and if you're a church person, in your church community as well. So it's really vitally important that you develop your ASK, your attitude, skills, and knowledge. Now, let me just go a little bit further here. And I want to talk about how powerful this is, really, because this is really, really, really significant. And I want to share with you how significant this really is. So let me go to my whiteboard and go from there. Now, I want you, first of all, to look at this triangle. And we're talking about developing your attitude, skills, and knowledge. Now, someone once says, when we talk about success, success really is 40% based upon your skills and your knowledge, and 60% based on your attitude. So you can see really around this area, 60% of your success will be determined by your attitude. Okay. So if we want to divide it into two, skills and knowledge is based upon 40% success and 60% success relating to your attitude. Okay, I'm just trying to sort out something here in YouTube. Just trying to check out just to see if it's functioning well in YouTube. I hope so. I'm not sure whether or not you guys in YouTube. I think it's okay. I'm not sure, but you guys will have to communicate with me and let me know what you're seeing, whether or not you can hear me as well. Let me know, Raymond, whether you can hear me on YouTube. Okay, now every occupation on earth, whether you're the prime minister or a cleaner, every occupation on earth are based around attitude, skills, and knowledge. So the more you develop your attitude, your skills, and your knowledge, the more you're worth. Okay, the more money you make, the more value you bring to the marketplace, the more confident you become, the more powerful you become, and the more people want to be around you because you've got wisdom, right? Knowledge and understanding, and you've got the right attitude. Now, listen to this carefully. If your attitude, listen to this carefully, if your attitude stinks, nobody wants to live with you, work with you, play with you, or even go to church with you. So attitude is very, very important. Okay, does that make sense? Attitude is very, very important. So what you want to make absolutely certain is you're working on yourself. You're working on your attitude, improving your attitude. Your attitude is the way you deal with yourself. It's the way you deal with other people in your family, at work, at church, or on the street. It's the way you treat people. It's the way you communicate with them. It's the way you talk to them, etc. Okay, your attitude. And that's very, very important. Your skill is based upon how good you are at doing something, and your knowledge is how much you know about certain things. Does that make sense? So I hope that makes sense. So attitude is very important. So is your skills and your knowledge. Now, a person once said that your attitude, well, your skills and your knowledge, okay, this bit down the bottom here, your skills and your knowledge will take you before great men and great women. It will take you to powerful places, but it's your attitude that will keep you there. Now that's significant. That's really important to note. Your skills and your knowledge, this is down the bottom here. Your skills and your knowledge will take you to great places, but it's your attitude that will keep you there. So attitude is also very, very important. I hope you understand that. Now, the question is, how do you develop your attitude, skills, and knowledge? I want to give you some suggestions, some thoughts as to how you can go about doing that. And here they are. You know, here are 3 E's that gives you the perfect mix for managing, accelerating, and developing your ASK. Now, this is very important. Yeah, I call it the mad ask, managing, accelerating, and developing your ASK, your attitude, skills, and knowledge. So you want to spend, I believe, and I recommend spending at least 10% of your income on courses and learning. Books, for example, tapes, videos, okay? 10% of your money and also 10% of your time. Making absolutely certain that you're educating yourself, you're getting more knowledge, and so on. You want to spend around 20% of your time on different roles, getting feedback, and traveling. And, you know, in other words, exposing yourself to different situations, different positions, different circumstances, and so on. It's interesting, actually, that whenever you travel, how powerful it is to exposing you to different things. Let me just check something here on YouTube first of all, then I'll be right back. I just want to make sure that, because I noticed that good evening, Sister Pat and Lucas and everyone. I noticed that I'm not sure what you guys are seeing on YouTube. I believe you can hear me. I hope you can hear me. Okay, loud and clear. Thank you, Raymond. But the funny thing about it is that it doesn't seem as if the video is playing properly and showing the slides properly in YouTube. So the only way out of this, guys, if you can't see my slides, you probably can, but I can't see them. But if you can't see them, the best way is to probably watch it at Facebook, because I think they're working pretty well at Facebook. All right, let me carry on then. And so long as you can hear me, that's most important anyways, that you can hear me. All right. So the point I'm making here is quite simply this: is you need exposure. You need to get into different environment, go to different places. It's amazing. Okay, there it is. It's working. It probably was my computer, so it's perfect now. So the more you expose yourself to different people, to different situations, circumstances, different country, you'd be amazed what it does to your mind and to your scope of things. So you want to expose yourself to different environment, different jobs, different positions, and different people as well. That's key and very, very important. You want to make sure you spend 70% of your time on the job experiences, tasks, problem solving, doing things. Does that make sense? So you learn to play the flute by playing the flute. So you want to make sure, if the flute is what you want to master, or the saxophone, okay, you want to spend 70% of your time doing that, the hands-on experience. So we're talking about managing, accelerating, and developing your attitude, skills, and knowledge. Three E's that will enable you to do that with great speed. I found this to be so over the last 35 years. This is how I do it. Okay, I make sure I spend 10% of what I earn, 10% of my time. In fact, it's more than that now, in learning, developing, listening to other people, reading books, watching videos, and listening to audio tapes. I spend a lot of my time doing that. I often say that I've got to spend 2 hours and 40 minutes per day. That's 10%. That's 20%, I believe. Or is it 10%? I can't remember. I think it's 10% of my time learning and developing and accelerating and so on and so forth. Expose yourself to different people. Okay, it's really important. Expose yourself to different situations, circumstances. It really will help you. And also 70% on doing it, experience. You learn to play the flute by playing the flute. You learn to swim by getting in the water and swimming. Okay, nothing can replace that. Now it's interesting actually that back in the 70s when I was looking for work, most people were looking for qualification, but now people are looking for people who have done it, the experience, and so people would headhunt for the top positions. When you talk about the top positions in companies, these people are headhunted, all right, because they're looking for people who have done it and can do it, and the experience really plays off a great deal. So I hope that makes sense to you, and I'm going to move on to something else, but that really truly is paramount and key. And as I said, I want to say again, 10%. This is what top professionals do, top executives do. They spend 10% of what they earn on return on investment. That's what they call it, ROI. Their return on their investment, because the more value you bring to the marketplace, the more you're worth, the more they pay you. It's just the way it works. All right. So bear that in mind. Welcome everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Really do appreciate you guys joining me, and glad to have you guys at YouTube and Facebook. All right. Let me move on then. Now, I have shared something before that I think is truly, truly powerful. And I want to, share it again because I think it is so, so powerful. Now, developing yourself in 2020 is not difficult, and it takes time. This strategy is used by top executives, all right, to deal with difficult conversation or to plan any project. This tip alone is worth let me just use my this tip alone is worth, in actual fact, I've done this slide before, and I just want to say this because this tip alone is worth over £10,000. Okay, this tip alone that I'm sharing with you, it is worth so much. Okay, so I want to say to you that it's vitally important, in my view, that you take this point that I'm going to share with you very, very, very seriously, because it is worth so much money. All right. Now, first thing is this. Number one is it's vitally important that you, number one, is that you know what your aim is in life, your goal, what it is that you want to achieve in 2020. You're talking about developing yourself, right? What is it you want to achieve? What is your goal? The wise man Solomon says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 2 and 3 says, write the vision. Most people don't know what their vision is, and they don't write the vision, and therefore, as a result of that, it becomes a wish list. So I strongly, strongly recommend that you make absolutely certain that you write down what it is that you want to achieve in 2020. And I would strongly recommend that you don't want it to be more than 2 to 3 things that you want to achieve. I think that's really vitally important. But more importantly, what is it that you want to achieve in terms of developing yourself, your attitude, your skills, and your knowledge. Are you with me? What is it that you really, really want to achieve? Make a note and write it down. The second thing that you want to make absolutely certain about is that you have a plan. Now, a plan is not very difficult. I'm going to show you the one that I use often. Been using this now for 35 years. It's never failed me once. It is the most powerful strategic approach to any project or anything that I have done. And I want to share that with you right now. And it is this: develop this by your aim by using this particular strategy. It is plan effectively and make absolutely certain that you are following the system. All right, let me just use this here. And here's the system: save yourself stress, time, energy, and money. If you follow this approach, I call it the 5WH and 4Rs. It's very easy to remember, isn't it? 5WH and 4R. I was in a meeting many years ago, around 35 years ago to be exact, to tell you the truth, when a gentleman in our meeting, we were starting out to run this major project. And he came into the meeting and he shared this with us. I've modified it a little bit and made it a lot more easier to remember. And it was the only meeting that we had in 30 plus years, well, around that the minutes was recorded in green paper, with green paper. It was printed on green paper. I'll never forget that. And he shared this with us, and I have not forgotten it ever since. You see, the type of person that I am, if I'm around people who share some exciting things, I never, ever, 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 never, ever, ever, ever forget it, because I have my pen with me and I'll write it down because I don't want to forget it. So a plan basically starts off with your why. Why must it be done? Then what needs to be done? Okay, and you may want to list those out. Who will do what, where, and by when. Always make sure you have the date. How will it be done? What resources do you need, including your cost? What risks are associated with it? Make sure you're constantly reviewing your plan before, during, and even after. And always reward everyone associated with your success. It's very, very important that you remember the people who have helped you to get to where you are getting. So always, 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 always remember this. You start off with your aim, your vision, your goal, your objective, your desire, that which you're hoping to achieve. And then you put together your plan for that for this year. So whatever it is that you want to achieve, developing your attitude, skills, and knowledge, you want to make absolutely certain that you have your plan and that you're working to your plan. Remember this statement: if you fail to plan, then you know the rest of it. If you fail to plan, then you plan to fail. So it's very important then that you have a plan. This is what I was saying before. This tip alone is worth over £10,000. That's this tip that I'm sharing with you, the AIM plan. And remember what I said, the second thing that you want to work on is to make sure you work on your plan. The plan is absolutely crucial. Now, this is around £10,000. This is worth, in fact, I think it's worth more than £10,000. Every top professional that I've ever come across, either by tapes or by books, use this system. They use this strategy. It's called a cybernetic cycle. It just keeps on, the cycle just keeps on going on and on and on. So you start with your aim, you start with your plan, you make absolutely certain that you follow the 5W, H, and 4Rs. Once you've got your plan, remember what I said before, this is step number 1, this is step number 2. So let's look at step number 3. Step number 3 is your action. This is where we separate the men from the boys. This is where, we separate the girls from the women. There are people who start their new year, they've set new year goals and resolutions, and after 2 weeks, around this time, most people have abandoned their goal. And I'm saying to you, you don't want to do that. You want to make sure you're a finisher. You're a starter and you're a finisher. You finish what you start. So I strongly, strongly, strongly recommend that you be a finisher. Take action. Do it. Do it right. Do it right now. Don't hesitate. Don't delay. Don't procrastinate. Don't put it off. All right? Just keep on going. Now, there are certain things that will try and stop you from achieving your goal for 2020. There are people, there are money and time. All right? Let me make a note of that. One of them is people. Okay? People. People who love you sometimes. Money, because sometimes people don't do it because they don't have any money, and sometimes people do it fail to do it because of time. They say I'm too young, or I'm too old, or time is running out, and so on and so forth. So don't let these things stop you. All right, don't let these things stop you. There's a statement I love. It says, "Winners never quit, and quitters never win." I love that. Winners never quit, and quitters never win. So make absolutely certain that you know what your aim is, you know what your goal is, you know what your vision is for 2020. You know what you want to do. You want to develop yourself, you want to grow, you want to get better. All right, you want to manage and accelerate your development through your attitude, skills, and knowledge. 10% of your time and of your resources you should spend on educating yourself, getting the knowledge that you need. 20% in terms of exposure, 70% doing it on experience. All right, and it's doing it that really makes the magic. Does that make sense? Doing it is where the magic comes. And then finally, point number four, you want to make absolutely certain that you are reviewing, you are evaluating, you are getting feedback. This is crucial to the process. Okay, what you want to review, you want to review your aim. Are we achieving? Are we getting close? How far are we away from it? How are we doing? You want to make sure you review your plan. How appropriate is that plan? You want to make sure you review your action. In other words, how effective are things? And you want to make sure you review, what are we learning? Now, I heard a statement many years ago. I've never forgotten it. It's really one of the most powerful learning points of my entire life. And it says this: the largest room in the world is a room for improvement. You want to make a note of that. All right. The largest room in the world is the room for improvement. You want to make absolutely certain that you never ever believe to yourself, I've arrived, I know it all. No, you'll never know it all. All right. So it's very, very important that you constantly looking and reviewing and evaluating. All right. So this particular cycle, aim, plan, action, review, you want to make absolutely certain that you're following it to the absolute T. It is crucial. All right. And remember what I said, this tip alone is worth over £10,000. And I kid you not. If you follow it, if you use it, it will really bring great, great result. Let me just do a summary then of what I've been talking about. And I want to share some of my other thoughts with you. Take total control of your personal development and invest in yourself wisely every day. Invest in yourself wisely every day. How many books did you read in 2019? How many educational videos did you watch in 2019? How many audio tapes did you listen to in 2019? How many training courses or seminars did you attend in 2019? How much did you grow in 2019? Are you following me? Don't make that mistake in 2020. How many books did I read in 2019? My goodness, I don't even, it's just amazing the amount of books I read, mostly in the scriptures. I even memorized the entirety of Psalms chapter 119 from verse 1 to verse 176. Took me 5 months to do that. 164 days it took me to do that. And every day I still repeat it. Even this morning, or well, this afternoon, yesterday morning, I'm repeating it every day. So I make sure that I never ever forget that. That's key. I memorize certain sections of Proverbs, chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5. Done that many years ago. And I strongly recommend that you do a lot of reading. How many videos did I watch last year? I mean, hundreds and thousands of hours of time. T.D. Jakes, Tony Evans, Miles Monroe, John Maxwell, and Casey Price. The list goes on. Even Joyce Myers, I was listening to, R.C. Sproul. These are some of the names that's coming to me, and many, many others. John MacArthur and Gina Jennings. I spent thousands of hours developing myself in 2019. So I bring more value to the marketplace in 2020. Identify the aim, develop a plan, action it, and review regularly. Don't ever make that mistake of not identifying what it is that you want to achieve in 2020. That's the biggest mistake you can make. Let me just say this to you, okay? It has been said that only 3% of the world's population set a vision for what they want to achieve in life. Only 3%. Now, I want to ask you another question. Are you a part of the 97%, or are you a part of the 3% school? Which school do you belong to? I strongly recommend that you belong to the 3% school. Now, it has been said that the 97% of the world is working for the 3%. Now, that is awesomely important, and that's a powerful clue of what's going on in the world today. Sometimes people say, oh, the rich and the rich. No, the rich follow rules. They follow principles. They do what the rule book said they should do. That's why they get their wealth. Do you think wealth just happened? Do you think that Walt Disney and all these powerfully wealthy people became wealthy just because they were beautiful, just because of that? No, they followed certain principles. Obviously, there are the few percentage that is born rich. We know that. But I'm talking about the masses of people who become wealthy, didn't come wealthy overnight. They did something. They followed certain principles. They followed the principles that I'm sharing with you now. Maximize the 3 E's. What are the 3 E's? Education, exposure, and experience. Develop your ASK and become the best that you can be. Don't be in competition with anybody else. Never ever be in competition with somebody else. Be in competition with you, and compete with yourself to become better than you were in 2019, 2018, 2017, and be better in 2020. Are you following me? I said to my daughters one day, I gave her a set of tapes to listen to from John Murdoch. And I said this to her: every day that you listen to these tapes, you're getting ahead of other people. You're getting better. You're growing. You're expanding. It's like a person who goes to the gym, right? And they pump iron. They're getting better and better and better and better because they keep on pumping the iron, as it were. So the more you listen to videos, the more you go to training seminars and so on and so forth, the more you are expanding your ability to go forward. Never forget the 4 principles of greater success: aim, plan, action, review. Aim, plan, action, review. I think I should make a song from that, shouldn't I? So the more you do that, the greater it's going to be for you. I kid you not, it is just truly powerful stuff here. So I strongly recommend that you follow these principles that I'm sharing with you, because they do make absolute sense. They do make a great deal of sense. So make sure you're developing yourself in 2020, your attitude, your skills, and your knowledge. Remember that, okay? Remember what I says, developing the right attitude, skills, and knowledge will increase your worth in the marketplace, increase your value. You become more confident, you become more empowered, you resolve conflict very easily, and you'll increase your productivity. There's absolutely no doubt about that when you develop in your ASK. Remember what I said about your attitude, all right? Your attitude is so important. Develop your ASK, your attitude, your skills, and your knowledge. 60% of attitude is based around success. The success, okay? As I said before, your skills and your knowledge will take you to great places. It will take you to great places to see powerful men and women. But it's your attitude that will keep you there. If your attitude stinks, nobody wants to live with you, work with you, play with you, or even go to the mosque or church with you. That's just the reality. All right. So you want to develop your attitude, skills, and knowledge. How do you do that? As I said before, you do that by using the 3 E's. And if you use the 3 E's, you will accelerate your development. You will accelerate. You'll be amazed at your development over a period of a year or two or so. So spend 10% of what you earn on developing yourself. 10% of your time you should spend not watching TV just for entertainment's sake, but making sure you're watching the right things on TV that develop you, that develop your skills, your abilities, and so on. Always, always, always remember that. Always remember that this tip I'm sharing with you now, I'm just repeating, is worth more than £10,000. Absolutely true. I kid you not about this. Every top professional that I know, I've read about, I've listened to, use these principles. Jesus used it, right? He knew what his vision was. He knew what his purpose was, all right? And he had a plan of how to achieve it. I mentioned to you before about using the 5 WH and the 4 Rs, all right? Whereby you can use this to do any project, any business plan. If I was asked to run the country, become the Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, I can use this particular plan and manage the entire United Kingdom. That's how powerful this particular approach is. All right. So you want to make sure you got your aim, you've got your plan, and you want to make absolutely certain that you are a finisher. Come on, man. Winners never quit. You know the saying, winners never quit and quitters never win. It's just the reality, it's just the way it is. So you want to make absolutely certain that you're a starter and a finisher. Say, repeat, I think you can do something like this every day. Every day, I'm a finisher. I'm a finisher. I'm a finisher. I'm a starter and I'm a finisher. I'm an excellent finisher. And the more you say that to yourself, that which you persist in doing becomes easier to do. Not because the nature of the thing becomes less difficult, but by doing and doing and doing, the thing becomes easier to do and you become more powerful at doing that thing. So I strongly recommend that you do that. And don't forget to constantly and consistently review your aim, review your plan, review the action. How effective are you? And always look at, what am I learning from this? What can I learn? How am I doing? And so on. Very, very, very important. All right. I want to share some thoughts from some amazing people. And I think that these thoughts are truly, truly amazing thoughts. And I want to share these with you as we go forward. So just making sure that I get these thoughts to you. And this is Errol Williams here, Pastor Errol Williams. I want to say welcome to everyone. Sister Cassandra Barras, welcome and thank you for joining me. Appreciate you guys being here. Paul Morrison, how you doing? And Gappa, welcome, welcome, welcome. All right. Now, I want to share a few thoughts with you that I think are so powerful, so beautiful. And I want to make sure that I have these, and so I can pull these up and share these with you, because they are so beautiful. And we're going to look at that right now. Right. Now, let me do this. Okay. Now, I want to take this first thought from Robin Sharma. Robin Sharma says this: investing in yourself is the best investment you will ever make. It will not only improve your life, it will improve the lives of all those around you. This is so true. And this is so powerful a point. Invest in yourself is the best investment you'll be able to do, because you're getting better, you're becoming more confident, you're becoming more powerful, you make more money, and the people around you get better because you get better. Your children get better because you get better. And that's key. So invest in yourself is really powerful. So I strongly recommend that you invest in yourself throughout 2020. Now, I did make some interesting points before about investing in yourself. Remember, I said before, 10%, of what you earn, or 10% of your time, invest in yourself. Every book you read, you're investing in yourself. Every video you watch, you're investing in yourself. Every course you go on, you're investing in yourself. Just sitting here listening to me is another opportunity of investing in yourself. You're using your time wisely rather than foolishly. Does that make sense? So I strongly recommend that you do so. All right. Um, I love what Abraham Maslow says. Abraham Maslow, there's a lot of work that he has done. He came up with the hierarchy of needs, a very powerful approach to motivation and in the workplace as well as elsewhere. And he says this: one can choose to go back towards safety or forward towards growth. Growth must be chosen again and again. Fear must be overcome again and again. Now, this is awesome. You can choose to stay where you are in your comfort zone. Are you with me? And really, you're going backwards. You're really not going forward. Or you can choose to grow. And I love this picture here that I use on, and I think this picture here is just so powerful, really, because it's about growth. It's these plants. It's like seeds that you sow in the plant. Eventually, you're gonna have to take those plants out of the pot because the pot is not going to be big enough. And I think that's what needs to happen. Wherever you are is like the pot that you're in. And eventually you need to move out of that pot, move out of that circle, and go into bigger territories so you can expand, man. So you can grow. So you're so that you become unlimited in your growth. 35 years ago, when I was around 25, long time ago, I couldn't read and write properly. When I was in school, I never did very well. There was no one watching and observing and seeing to it that I could read and write and so on. So I spent the last 35 years developing and trying to catch up. Not only have I caught up with people, I've left them behind. That's just been the reality, because I got so addicted to learning, addicted to developing my attitude, skills, and knowledge, addicted to aim, plan, action, review, that I surpassed some of the best and started teaching them the things that I had learned. So I strongly recommend, definitely, that you grow, move forward. Does that make sense? To grow, you must. It's a choice that you have to take. It doesn't happen by accident. Now, the average person, I'm told, will learn around 1 or 2 new words per year. The average person. Well, I learn on average 3 new words every week. That's been going on for 35 years. And so the more that you study, you come across these new words and you think, wow, and you just go forward with that. Around an average of 3 per week. I used to do 7 per week, and it was just too much. I just couldn't keep up. But 3 per week became very easy for me to do. So I strongly recommend that you do that. Now, I love this one. Dennis Waitley says, personal development is the belief that you are worth the effort, time, and energy needed to develop yourself. You're more than worth it. You're definitely worth the time, and you're definitely worth the effort. Are you with me? And it doesn't matter how young you are or how old you are. I'm 60 years of age, right? And even when I'm 80, I'll still be developing. I'll still be growing, because you got to get your mind working. That's key. The best study I did in 2019, the best study that I did in 2019 was memorizing Psalms 119, verse 1 to verse 176, and studying the topic theodicy, the problem of evil. It was the greatest thing I did in 2019. I'm so excited that I did that. I don't know what's going to happen to me in 2020, but one thing is for certain: 16 days have gone by so far, And the amount of videos I've watched, the amount of tapes I've listened to, it's just been phenomenal. And I'm so excited about that. So, personal development is the belief that you're worth the effort. You are worth the effort. Listen to this carefully. The more you develop and grow, the more your family develops and grow, because you are in your family, right? And you're learning and developing and going forward. Let me just share another thought with you. This is from John Maxwell. Now, on the 1st of February, I have agreed to spend, I don't know how much it is. I think it's over £1,000 to take around 20 leaders with me to go and see John Maxwell on the 1st of February up in the Midlands. And he said that growth is the great separator between those who succeed and those who do not. Now, this is absolutely powerful. Thank you, John, for saying that. Growth is the separator between those who succeed and those who don't. The reason why people don't succeed is because they're not growing. That's the truth of the matter. When I see a person beginning to separate themselves from the pack, it's almost always due to personal growth. And this is so powerful. That's true. The difference between failure, people who fail and people who succeed, people who quit and people who keep on going, is personal development. So if you are developing yourself, you're separating yourself from people. Now, I had a group of friends, right? And we were all at the same place in terms of knowledge and learning and so on. And the moment I began to develop myself, I separated from them. It was an automatic thing. It was sad for me in one way, but great for me in another, because I lost a lot of friends that way. So that's the great separator. All right. Let me look at another point. This is by Ernest Hemingway. There is nothing noble in being superior to your fellow man. True nobility is being superior to your former self. In other words, being superior to yourself in 2020 than you were in 2019. We're not, personal development is not trying to be superior to a human being, to another person, and so on. It's being superior to yourself. It's being a better you. I used to imitate Martin Luther King many years ago. I used to imitate him. And then I realized one day that while I was imitating him, who was imitating me? While I was trying to become Martin Luther King, there was no one trying to become Errol Williams. So I decided, you know what? Let me learn from Dr. Martin Luther King as to how I can be a better me. Not be superior to anybody else, but be the superior, the best me that I can possibly become. Now, change, this is by Pat Smith. Change equals self-improvement. Now, I like the word self-improvement because it means that you're the one taking charge. You're the one doing it. You're the one that is at the helm of it. You're the one that is at the center of this. So change equals self-improvement. So if you want to change, grow. Push yourself to places you haven't been before. Push yourself. Write a book. Don't say you can't do it. If that's what you want to do, write the book. Start it. Now, if you're going to write a book, this is my tip. I only have one tip for people who want to write a book. And it's the greatest tip that I can share. No one taught it to me, but I learned it for myself. And I use that same strategy in all the 5 books I wrote. The day you start to write the book, you must not stop until it's finished. And the tip is this: make sure you write a minimum of 1 line per day. A minimum of 1 line per day. You don't stop. Now, if you wrote 500 lines yesterday, you still have to write 1 line tomorrow. That's if you did it yesterday. If you did 500 lines yesterday, you have to do 1 line today. Just one. But you must do a minimum of 1 line per day. That way, it's impossible for you not to finish. All right? That's the greatest tip that I can share with you at this moment. Now, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. This is by Ralph Waldo Emerson. You may have heard of him. The only person you're destined to become is you. Yeah, okay. I think that's really self-explanatory. So let's move on to Brian Tracy. Brian Tracy said, "Personal development is a major time saver. It is truly, it is a major time saver. It save yourself time, energy, money, and stress, and all of that stuff. Okay, the less time it takes you to achieve your goals, the better you become, the less time it takes to achieve your goals. That's very true because you have the skills, you've got the knowledge, and so on and so forth. All right. So bear that in mind. That's powerful. I just got three more to give you, and then I'm out of your way. Now, this is by Henry David Thoreau. You cannot dream yourself into a character. You must hammer and forge yourself one. You know, it takes sweat. It takes sweat. It takes muscles. It takes hard work. You cannot dream yourself into a character. You know, there are lots of us who just lie down in the bed and we dream of how beautiful life would be if this, if that, if this, if that. I do that sometimes, but I know that I have to get up and hammer and forge myself into that dream. Does that make sense? Dreaming alone is not going to make it happen. Having the vision and the plan won't make it happen. You've got to get into that and you've got to make it happen that way. Final two. This is by Norman Mailer. Every moment of one's existence, one is growing into more or retreating into less. This is awesome. Every moment of one's existence, you're either getting better or worse. Does that make sense? And I strongly recommend that personal development is the way forward. Now, this is the final one. I left the best until last. I think it's the best. Jim Rohn. If you ever known Jim Rohn, I spent a lot of time listening to Jim Rohn. He's probably one of the greatest motivational speaker the world has ever known. As a matter of fact, there was a young man that he trained. He took him under his wing, and that young man became known as Anthony Robbins. Anthony Robbins is probably more known than Jim Rohn in many circles. Anthony Robbins is around 6'5". He's an American. He's white. He's truly amazing. He wrote a book. I forget the name of the book. Dream. I just can't remember. I got my children to read that book and do presentation in it back in the day. I mean, this guy is phenomenal. I spent thousands of hours listening to him in my early development years. He's truly was inspirational to me, and Jim Rohn was his mentor. Jim Rohn was his teacher, and Jim Rohn says that he makes a lot of statements, but this one I love. He said, "Income seldom exceeds personal development," and that is so true. If you want to grow financially, well, grow in your attitude, skills, and knowledge. When you develop your attitude, skills, and knowledge, you're developing you. You're becoming greater and better at what you do. All right. If there are any comments, please put those in the chat room for me, and I would be more than happy to address any thoughts or any points that you have. This is Pastor Errol Williams here, and I'm so excited to have the opportunity to share with you on this Thursday night tip. It's always my honor and privilege to do so. And Thursday night is a really important night for me. So is Monday night, because Monday night is when I do the Bible studies. And these two nights are truly important to me. It's a part of my review. It's a part of my own personal development. So I really do truly take them very, very seriously. I've been doing this now for around 11 years, in fact. So I'm excited about that. Just want to give you two announcements. Don't forget to sign in to our, well, not sign in, but go to this website and you will get my gospel radio. I set up this gospel radio station to play gospel music 24/7. From time to time, I go live on it and, just sharing the gospel 24/7 on the air so that other people can hear some good gospel music and some sermons and all kind of different stuff that goes on that station. So help us to promote it, and it's really truly is amazing. So go to gospelradio.me. That's it, gospelradio.me. You can also pick it up at cogop.com, The link is also there, and you can listen to some gospel radio throughout the night and throughout the year if you like. So it's going to be on for up until December, end of December 2020. So it's guaranteed to be up, and I'm looking forward to being on here throughout. I also want to promote this amazing event that's coming up in May. It's our ladies retreat. It's our national ladies retreat, and it's booking up. It's booking up fast. So if you're a lady and you're going, don't hesitate. Just book up because it's limited space, and first the book is the way it's working at the moment. So if you're going, make up your mind quickly and get to the website cogop.org.uk and make sure you book immediately, because we'll be closing it down if once the spaces are filled. All right, once the spaces are filled, you cannot get in. It's just the way it is. So these women, via Joyce Myers, I said Joyce Fletcher on the left. She's our type of Joyce Myers actually. These two women on the right is Minister Alani Powell. That's the wife of our national presiding bishop, Tedward Powell. So these two women head up the ladies retreat within the Church of God of Prophecy. So book your seat. Right. Let me therefore then just summarize again, and then let you go, because I think this is so good to summarize. So let me bring that in just like so and go from there. Now, finally, got 3 minutes to do this. Unless there is a question or a comment and from you guys, thank you so much for joining me. Take total control of your personal development and invest in yourself wisely. And I would strongly recommend you do that every day in 2020. All right, take total control. Set a plan of how you're going to do that. That's key. That's phenomenal. Let me take myself out the way, just in case you want to take a picture of that. Then you can go ahead and do so. Let me just make sure it is covering the screen. So go ahead and take a picture if you want. Secondly, you want to identify the aim, develop a plan, action it, and review it regularly. That's what you want to make absolutely certain that you develop, identify what it is you want to achieve in 2020. Okay? Develop the plan, action it, and review it regularly. Don't hesitate. Review it regularly. Okay, let me come back now. Maximize the 3 E's. Remember what the 3 E's are. The 3 E's are education, exposure, and experience. 10%, 20%, and 70%. So you want to make sure that you're spending 10% of your time and what you earn on educating yourself, getting more knowledge, buy more books, read more books, videos. I go to this university every day. I have a university that I attend every day, and it's called the University of YouTube. That's where I go every single day. I live at that university because some of the most amazing speakers are there, if not all of them. Develop your ASK and become the best that you can possibly become. I want to become the best Errol Williams. I'm not in competition with TD Jakes or Joyce Myers or Anthony Robbins or Miles Monroe or John Maxwell. I'm not in competition with them. I'm in competition with becoming the best Errol Williams the world has ever known. I want when I die, I died the best I could be. And that's what I'm trying to be. That's my goal in life. Never forget these 4 principles of greater success: aim, plan, action, review. And don't forget those thoughts that I shared with you. And I think that this particular thought by Jim Rohn is truly amazing. Income seldom exceeds personal development. The more you grow, the more others around you will grow. I want to say thank you so very much. It's now 10:30. I want to say thank you so very much for joining me tonight. It's been a joy and an honor and a privilege to have had the opportunity to share with you tonight. Thank you so much for joining me. And it is my desire and my wish to see each and every one of us grow and become better. Especially, I love the people around me to grow because their growth is my growth, their development is my development. I love to be in this pot of people where we are growing together. Are you with me? And I want to get out of the pot that I'm in. I want to get into a bigger pot now. I want to get into a bigger pot so I can excel more, so I can become a better person, helping other people along the way, that they too can achieve their goal. If you help other people achieve their goals, guess what? They will in turn help you to achieve yours. Finally, I would say if you wish to help us and partner with us at Church of God of Prophecy Wembley, then you can actually go to that website bit.ly/COGOP23 and or you can go to the website cogop.com and there's a link there. There's one there and you can just support what we do. I'm looking to raise £1 million. I'm hoping to come across a millionaire who will say, Errol, I believe in what you guys are doing. Here's £1 million. Go and do it. And we'll be able to do it. You know, I just testify of something here that we did. I just share a testimony with you. Our church went to a place called Covent Garden to sing one evening, and we had a 30-minute slot at Covent Gardens every Sunday evening to sing. And when we finished, I think we were waiting for our slot. That's right, we were waiting for our slot to sing. And so I decided to just take a walk around Covent Gardens while we were waiting. A white gentleman called Peter came up to me and says, could I give him £1? Now I had the £1 to give him, but something in me said, surely there's more you can do for this man. And I didn't know what I could do. I just couldn't think of anything that I could do. So it was easy to give him the £1. So I gave him the £1. And as I gave him the £1, I said this to him. I said, do you mind if I come back and see you on Wednesday? He said, that's perfectly fine. So we set a time for the Wednesday that I would come and see him. So I went down with my personal assistant at that time, and we went down on the Wednesday to see him. I took him to a restaurant, and he was there with another person who was also homeless, and they've been homeless for around 10 years or so. So we sitting in the restaurant, but he couldn't eat because the way his illness was, and he was able to drink and so on. And while I was there, I really felt pretty bad that I'm going to be leaving shortly, but what could I do for them? What can I do? And I wasn't sure what to do. So an idea came to me. All of a sudden, I remembered that I had raised some funds from, Marks and Spencer, from United Biscuits and Unisys and Guinness. And I'd raised around £100,000 actually to take people away on a retreat and train them on some of the things I'm sharing with you tonight. And lo and behold, we had 2 spaces left. And here I am sitting in front of 2 homeless people. So, and the course that we're going to run is this Saturday coming. So it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is only 3 days. So I thought to myself, let's give them the 2 places. They don't have to come on the course. All they have to do is just, they will have some bedding and food for the weekend. That's all. So I said, Peter, and to his friend Jill, I said, how would you guys like for me to come and pick you up on Friday, and you come, I make sure you get a shower. I'll have some new clothes for you, and you come and do the course. And they says, yeah. So we left them on the street. Friday we came back, myself and my assistant, we picked them up. We brought them down to Bridge Park that we're fighting for now. Bridge Park that we started in 1988, launched by His Royal Highness. And we brought them back. They got a shower. We had new clothes for them. We had food waiting for them. And they got on the coach and came to the weekend. Now, the way the course was designed is Friday to Sunday, throughout Friday, all day Saturday and Sunday. And then we would come back to London, and then there'd be 8 more evenings, and there would be Wednesday evenings that the course was going. So whoever went on the course would come back, and we took away around 30 people that weekend, in plus Peter and Jill. They got on the coach, they went. Now, we did not intend for Peter and Jill to do the course, but guess what? They did every session on the weekend, and we picked them up every evening, every Wednesday, we pick them up around 5 o'clock, bring them back, and they would do the course, and then we bring them back to Covent Garden and leave them on the streets. And it was really so disappointing, because when we came back to Covent Gardens after the course on a Wednesday, we would sit in the car for an hour, 2 hours, sometime early hours in the morning, because my heart grieved that I had to leave them on the street. And that's what I had to do. Anyway, when it came time for them to get their certificate, we picked them up. We had the mayor of Brent and Gary Mason. He's passed away now, but Gary Mason was the champion of boxing in the UK, and he would come sometimes and help us to hand out the certificate. So these 2 individuals got their certificate of completion from the mayor of Brent and Gary Mason, and we took pictures with them and all kind of stuff. Now, the course is over. They've gone their ways, and I've gone my ways. I've kind of not in contact with them as much as I had before. Anyway, one day I was at work, a phone call came, and a gentleman called me, and he said, "Are you Errol Williams?" And I said, "Yes, I'm Errol Williams." And he said hello, and then asked me a question. He said, "How did you do it?" So I said, how did I do what? He said, "How did you do it?" I said, "How did I do what?" He says, "I'm reading in the Evening Standard magazine that Jill came on your course, did the sessions, got her certificate, and now she's got her flat. And it's in the pictures. How did she do it?" And I explained to him what happened. He says, "Can I come and see you?" Came and see me, and we talked and so on. The point I'm making really is this, is that some people got the know-how but don't have the resources to do it. Some people have the resources but don't have the know-how. And all I need is the resources, and we can do it again. We have trained thousands. If you remember what I had said, go back in my profile here, and you will look. It says you have trained thousands of managers, leaders, supervisors, and unemployed people in the UK and abroad. Anywhere that I am put with my team, we can change people's lives overnight. It's absolutely easy. We know how to do it. Myself, Bishop Mike Wilson, Delaney Brown, and others. We've done it before, and we can do it again. And so if you're able to help us, if you're able to support the cause, go ahead and go to that website, bit.ly/CRGOP, and give me that million. And I don't need $1 million to buy a house. I don't need a house. I don't need a car. I don't need those things. Actually, I just need to help people. Anyway, take care of yourself and your family and each other until next time. Bye for now. I'm going on over now to my radio station to listen to some gospel music. Why don't you join me over at gospelradio.me for some gospel music. Take care of yourself and your family until I'll be back here on Monday with another Monday Night Bible Study. Take care of yourself and your family. Bye for now.